Welcome back, everybody, and Happy New Year. This is our podcast. Let's Otaku Bout it. Welcome back, all of our fans. This is your host, Kira-kun, here with...
Barry-kun.
And Onzo, Bonzo, Flonzo.
You added the Flonzo, nice.
Touch.
Alright, last episode, guess you noticed that we just totally glossed over Onzo, Bonzo, Flonzo's first experience with anime or why he got into it. So I just thought we could start with that. Onzo, here's your chance.
So the first anime that I really got into, well, I'd watched a couple different ones before, like Dragon Ball Z and a bunch of other ones, but I never really got into any of them. The first one that I actually got into was Hajime no Ippo, and this it follows some high school student named Makinochi Ippo.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like some shy kid from high school. And in the first episode, he gets his ass whipped by some bullies, but he gets stopped. They get stopped by some boxer, and he takes him to his gym, and lets him like take out his frustration on some boxing bags.
Mm-hmm. Some heavy bags.
Yeah, some heavy bags, and Ippo just destroys the shit out of the bag, hurts his hand, and everyone there's like, oh, that's like a sign of a strong puncher. So he's pretty much inspired by their talk to become a boxer. But he's kind of, since he's just in high school, doesn't have any training or anything, he has to like grind his way to the top. And I like this specific anime because I actually like this actual sport of boxing. So to actually like see it in a animation is really interesting to me. And like it's a long series. It's a long anime. It's like 100 plus episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But
all
like
together, like seasons.
Yeah, it's like 3 different seasons. Like the first one is like 75, and it's like split in like 25 and 25.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it just follows his career. Like even like from the first episode, he like gets his rival. It's pretty much like his protege boxing person at the gym. Miyata, same age. He fights. They spar. Fucking Ippo gets knocked out. I was like, this is not the intro that I want to see for my hero in this anime. But like they schedule a rematch like 3 months later, and like the anime progresses as like he's training his ups and downs, and he gets a rematch and then he knocks him out. And they're pretty much rivals throughout their whole careers, and it spans like years, following as like his wins and losses and how he goes like different countries to fight.
Lots of training. It's definitely an anime that I enjoyed when I watched it. It's one of the first I saw that wasn't a romance comedy and kind of helped me venture off into different genres. Yeah, it was probably one of my favorite animes. I definitely gave it a 10 when I rated it. Very likable characters.
When we give it a 10 though, Barry-kun and I on our anime list, we get really caught up with the emotions of
very reactionary.
Anime. Yeah. So when we see something and we're all up on it, and we're like tears in our eyes, like fuck, this is an instant classic. So we rate it a 10. So I just want to clarify that I agree with Joey that even looking back now, I do think it's like a classic. It's a really good 10.
Yeah, it's something I definitely keep as a 10. Yeah, if you ever go through my my anime list, you'll see a lot of 10s for a lot of animes that probably shouldn't be considered 10s.
Yeah,
but,
spur of the moment.
Yeah, we look back and we're like, these are 10s? Like, no way. 9? 8? Hold on. Both of our average scores are above 8. If that gives you any idea.
I honestly think I got like 1 or maybe 2 max like animes that I gave a 7. Everything else is 8 up. It's like
I have 2 6s for sure.
Which ones were they? Are they just random ones you didn't finish?
No, I always like to finish the anime just because I always like getting the whole story. But they were definitely like ones that basically a 7 to me is something I didn't enjoy watching, but I could continue watching it. Like I just wanted to finish it pretty much is what a 7 is to me. And the only only one I know offhand that I got was this anime called School Days. It's a weird romance harem.
What a surprise.
I don't know. It got really weird. I wouldn't watch it. If it's something you're thinking about watching ever, you see it recommended, do not watch it. But anyways, back to Ippo. Yeah, it's definitely something I consider a classic, something that would definitely still be a 10. I would recommend it to, anyone who enjoys anime, even if they don't necessarily like sports animes, because it's just one of those ones that go kind of transcends their genre to me.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I really like about Ippo is the art style is kind of like a classic art style, but drawn in a modern way. It starts with really classic style anime art, but then obviously the production of the entire thing gets better as it goes along. Yeah, my favorite part about Hajime no Ippo is Ippo himself. His character is just relentless as fuck, and you see the ways that it takes its toll on him, his body, and there's like very real concerns about their boxer's health, just like it would be in real life. So to see his relentless attitude, like no matter what happens, he gets knocked down, he gets back up, and he trains as hard as the hardest training guy in the world. So yeah, that's my favorite part about Ippo.
Definitely inspiring.
Yeah, for sure.
No matter what happens, he just keeps on going. Like, you see more into the background of like what an average boxer would do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like the struggles that they have.
It's definitely an anime I can understand which would get you into anime as a whole. Since you said that is the one that kind of made you realize you liked anime.
Yeah, I was still surprised to see that was one that Alonso had seen, especially after having talked to him like, hey, which animes have you seen? And he brings up Hajime. I'm like, holy shit, that one's 75 episodes. Like, you can barely watch 3 episodes of any other anime. This shit must be good. So I had to watch it. And hey, it was good though.
It's a good one.
It tasted good though.
Anyways, the topic we wanted to talk about this podcast was we came up with an idea. Me and Kira-kun, we are currently watching anime separately, and then there's anime that we all watch together with Anzo Bonzo Falonzo called called Bakuman. We'll get into that later, but what we wanted to do was we'll discuss the 2 animes that we're recently watching, and then kind of recommend them to Anzo Bonzo, and he'll choose one that he wants to watch in the future.
Surprise, surprise! I was like, you have to watch some anime.
Not no 3 episodes. But I'll go first. The one that I've been watching recently is Sword Art Online Season 2. I actually finished it recently. It's something that I've had on my list for a long time. I just never got around to watching it because I watched the first season and enjoyed it. But I just was worried it'd be a little repetitive, so I just kind of kept it on my plan to watch. But eventually I got around to it. And I guess how I'll describe it is just kind of saying what the premise as a whole is, since Season 2 is heavily based off what happened in Season 1 and the after effects. Basically, what Sword Art Online is, it's anime about a gaming world, or just gamers who experience virtual reality. There's this virtual reality system they got there where it basically transports the person into the game. The players, all 5 of their senses, they actually feel in game. So what they eat in the game, they actually taste.
So it's revolutionary as fuck.
Yeah, it was a huge deal supposedly in the anime when it was coming out. And it revolves around, I can't think of his his real name, but he goes by
Kirito?
Kirito in the game. Basically, 10,000 people are sent to this game, and what the kind of whole plot is they are stuck in the game until they beat the game. They can't log out, and if they die in the game, if their HP reaches 0, they die in real life. So basically, their lives are really on the line when they're battling. And it just kind of revolves around Kirito and the people he meets, just doing what they can to survive. There's a lot of action-packed scenes. Definitely moments that get you worried about what's going to happen to the characters you come to know. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's definitely the prototypical gaming anime. Definitely one of the most popular ones.
It's a straight archetype of its genre.
Yeah.
Basically, every other of these massive multiplayer online RPGs that they get stuck in, it has all of the main points that a heroine that gets taken. The guy has to save or work together.
Like
with
you could
other
pull
people.
that story from like a different anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this was one that kind of I guess made it popular, that type of genre. It had a huge reception.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. But yeah, I would recommend it.
So you finished that?
I did finish it.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't like is that I felt it was still kind of open-ended, so I didn't get the full story that I was hoping for when I watched season 2. But hopefully it comes out another season eventually.
Yeah. That might be because I don't know how far they've gotten, but I know that they have a manga.
Yeah.
So it's probably there is more.
I know there
assuming.
definitely is more.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they're going to come. I don't see why they wouldn't come with the season 3 since it was so popular.
Yeah.
But it has been a little bit. And I think I heard rumors something might be coming in this upcoming year. So we'll see.
I'm still waiting for rumors on Hajime no Ippo.
Oh, yeah.
You have to wait another year or 2 for that one. Comes
I'm
like every
hoping.
7 years.
Alright, so my anime that I've watched recently that I thoroughly enjoyed was Yuri on Ice. And in that anime, it's centered around Yuri, who is like the leading Japan's figure skater. He represents Japan basically, but in the beginning of the season, he faces like a crushing defeat in the Grand Prix, which I'm assuming is the biggest competition for figure skaters in the world, and has to fly back home just disappointed again because he crashes he cracks under pressure, and it's a common theme in his figure skating career where he excels at home, not the big stage, but then in the big stage he will fall short. So he gets home and, really depressed, eats a lot and gains so much weight that there's just people are just not sure what he's gonna do. They don't know what he's going through. Turns out that he gets caught in the spotlight because he performs one of his idols, which is the 5-time Grand Prix winning champion Victor from Russia. He performs one of his routines that he had used before and gets recorded and put on YouTube or something. It might have been like some other name on there, but it goes viral, and Victor sees this video and flies to Japan, deciding to put off next season as a competitor so he can coach Yuri. And Yuri just can't believe it's happening to him and enters this world with Victor as his coach. And one of the things about Victor is that he's supposed to be a super sexy man. I had no clue that figure skating had so many female fans like it does in this anime, but they just scream over him. And I guess he helps Yuri open up and better express himself sexually, also like emotionally. So he uses that, sex appeal as part of his routines with Victor as his coach. So yeah, it's a great story. Only 12 episodes. There's a lot of yaoi overtones boys love, but it's all platonic, I'm sure.
Like, is he trying to go for something?
Yeah,
like
he wants to win the Grand Prix. He wants to
like he's doing it for like next season.
Place. Yeah, he wants to take gold because, yeah, he always cracks under pressure, and he got I think he got 6th.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Well, Bonzo Flonzo.
Well, I definitely check out that one since it's only 12 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to watch the other one as well. Cause I can't commit all the way to 50 episodes. But
Yeah, I forgot to mention that, but that is one of the problems with Sword Art Online is it's 2 seasons, 25 episodes each.
I like how that's a problem. Some people might like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a problem. I definitely enjoyed it.
That's your problem with it, though?
Yeah, I kind of I tend to prefer shorter ones.
Yeah, same here.
25 is cool, but if it's the whole story's wrapped up in that one season.
What's your ideal one? 12 to 15?
It's tough.
I think super solid ones, I'm alright with 25, but still, even 25 episode ones, I find it hard to commit to just because there's 12 episode ones that are loved by so many people.
Yeah,
so.
The only multiple 25 episode one that I've watched is it's called the volleyball one.
Oh, Haikyuu?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
That one's
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, Haikyuu's fresh. Yeah. Our studio setting is really come up. It's really improving.
Yeah, we got 2 tables now.
Yeah.
The snacks.
Last time, so we also have a different. If you can imagine this, we have. Last time we used a table, one of those open up, unfold tables that you use to eat your dinner, sitting down at the couch or something. So we put a laptop on there, hooked up a mic, and put the mic on top of the laptop. But the little filter thing in front of the mic is kind of heavy, so it leans forward. So we last time we put a pill bottle
and some gauze
under it to support it. So now we've come up. We have 2 tables, and we're all in chairs this time. So we're sitting around the mic, and we have a deodorant stick and a sock to support the filter. So we've really come a long way since the first episode.
A lot of success after the first episode, so we know we had to upgrade.
We already had our nice brewskis. That was explosive. That was an explosive click. That was really strong. Yeah. Dang, look at that sound. Alright, so I guess we can move on to what we've all been watching together. And we just killed the 2nd season seconds ago. As we were doing this podcast.
As soon as we finished the episode, we started setting up to record pretty much.
Yeah.
A lot of determination after watching these guys. But basically, what we're watching is Bakuman. It's an anime about people making manga that they want to eventually turn into an anime. And it just kind of goes through their stories, not just professionally, but kind of just their own side home life with their
personal life.
Exactly.
So it starts with the main protagonist, I guess you could say. There's 2 of them. They end up getting a pair together. So the main character's name is Mashiro, and he's really good artist. He's always been drawing, his whole life. He doodles. You'll see him in the first episode, I think, doodling his crush of his whole life. And it's a really good drawing. His uncle used to be a manga artist and died from overworking. But he did have one longer running gag manga that had a following, a pretty loyal following.
And Mashiro, I just wanted to make sure this was covered, is Mashiro always looked up to his uncle.
Yeah.
So when he was a kid, he always wanted to be mangaka.
Yeah.
And then when his uncle died, he kind of gave up on that dream a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of what the background before the first episode happens.
Because he falls out of that, like, chasing being mangaka like his uncle. So he decides, you know, to go off for the whole school thing and go study somewhere. But he gets approached by Takagi, who sees him, you know, the sketch of his crush, and he says, you know, wow, you're a great artist. If we team up, we could be something great. Like, we could be great manga artists. And Takagi's specialty is he's really good at writing stories. And, you know, at first Mashiro's not convinced. But then Takagi tells him, you know, your crush, Miho, I don't know if you knew this, but she wants to be a voice actor. And he can't believe it. So Takagi tells him, you know, you should tell her that we're pairing up, making manga together, and she can voice act, and she'll fall in love with you or something. So Mashiro's super shy. He's not convinced. So it takes a little convincing, but Takagi tells him, you know, just come with me. I'm gonna confess to her, and he thinks, you know, fuck, he's gonna snatch my girl right now. He's like, I gotta go see this though, anyways, right?
6'5".
They show up outside her house, and ring the buzzer because it's a super luxurious home, and you know, you have a speaker from the front, and they call her out, and she steps out there in the doorway and said, Takagi tells her, we're gonna make manga together, and Mashiro has something to tell you. And so
he basically tells her, we're gonna make a manga, and then when it gets successful enough, we want to turn it into an anime, and we want you to be the voice actress. And what he also slips out there
at this point, though, Miho comes up running to the gate,
super excited,
looks in his face with like her eyes sparkling, and he's thinking in his head,
all blushing.
Yeah, he's just thinking in his head, wow, she's so beautiful. So he lets slip another little detail that, you know, wasn't planned upon.
Yeah, he tells her that when this happens, when their dreams come true, he wants her to marry him. And that was a complete accident. It just slipped out. You see, as soon as it slips out, his face goes kind of blank.
Music's
like,
off.
Yeah. His Takagi is freaking out. Miho runs back inside and slams the door. Like, it looks like he really fucked up.
It was a really realistic human part, you know. I stay telling girls I love them.
Get your door slammed.
They're just like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, so as he's about to walk away looking all defeated, she gets on the speaker and she's like, I'll marry you once our dreams come true. But until that day, we won't see each other and just encourage each other through letter. And so, I mean, he was down for it. He was super excited. Like,
oh, he was fired up. It's like, we're going to be the number one mangaka on the fucking planet. For my girl. Shout out to me.
But even at this point, he says he's not sure he's going to do it with Tagaki. He's like, he says he wants to be a mangaka, but he's like, I never said I'm going to commit to you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but what really convinced them is they were at a convenience store and saw the latest, I believe the magazine was called Next. It's where they have all the up-and-coming artists. And they had a teenager around the same age as they were. And being a successful mangaka at that age, while they're still, you know, middle school, high school, that's kind of unheard of, I guess, at least according to the anime.
I'm sure it is.
I mean, I'm sure it is too, but I don't want to assume, because I mainly just do anime. I don't really do manga. So, but basically they see this super talented genius kid who's supposed to be up and coming, and it kind of just motivates them, and they want to be better than him, and so they create him as a rival, and he ends up becoming a pretty big character in the anime and influencing their professional careers.
Mm-hmm.
And by far, at least to me, the best character.
I know you added that just so you could say that. You brought this out.
Well, yeah, I had to talk a little bit about my boy Nizuma.
He's great though. He's such good comedic relief.
Like, honestly, when he first popped up in the series, I thought he was super annoying, but he's just like one of those characters that grow on you.
Yeah.
Like
two episodes in, I was like, dang, I kind of like it.
Yeah, like, he's just super out there.
He caught me off guard because I felt really guilty about it, like liking him, but man, he's awesome.
So since I kind of missed the first like 20 episodes,
Yeah.
what other shit did I miss? Like besides, because you talked about how he didn't even want to commit to the other main guy.
Oh yeah, we never showed you that.
Yeah. Because really the only scene that you showed me was that when she ran to the gate, and that was it.
Well, I mean, basically, it's just them working towards their goals.
Yeah, he's just playing hard to get.
Yeah, like that stops pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Dude, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this anime, but I mean, so it's like it hits the cliches so damn well that I can't help but love it.
It does.
They're really satisfying.
Yeah, like
cliches.
I know. Sometimes like I know what's gonna happen, cause like they after like so many times like because they're just like grinding out like their animes or manga I guess right now, but like sometimes you can tell they're not gonna be as successful as they want, and like even though you appreciate like how they're grinding and how they're working, but like it's not gonna work out well for them like at the moment.
Yeah.
But like with the attitude that they have, they'll eventually make that anime.
Yeah, it's
make
like,
his girl fall in love with him.
like, this is no spoiler alert since we haven't watched season 3 at all, but I know for a fact by season 3 if they complete the story, they're gonna have a successful manga that becomes an anime. He's gonna end up marrying Miho. It's just obvious. But it doesn't take away anything from me when I'm watching it, even though I know what's going to happen.
It doesn't take from the story.
Yeah, like what's going to happen, but you still enjoy it. Like,
yeah. And I think a lot of that just has to do with the characters. Like, honestly, there's not one character in that whole anime that I can say I don't like.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
They're really likable characters.
Really true, yeah.
Even like with their editor, Miura, I don't like him in the beginning. I was like, oh god, this guy's trash.
Yeah, or like even though when he was trash or like he didn't know what he was doing, it added some type of comedic relief. Like when he's huge in gag manga and he's dying at these like all these stupid scenes. Yeah, it's just like
Miura was just like some editor that put like a bunch of suggestions for what's his name, Mashiro and Takagi. Yeah, for the anime.
Ashirogi.
Yeah. He's a newer editor, so that's his thing. It's like
but
he's learning as he goes.
Yeah. He's like growing with them at the moment.
We'll clip this. I got stuck on what Dan was doing. I was like, and I saw that no one was talking. Like, oh damn.
I thought I was just nice.
What are you looking for?
Just a name.
What name? Ashura?
Naika. Is that his name?
Oh, you're talking about the
the main guy, the editor.
He's not even on here anymore.
Wait, which guy?
The fat guy.
Oh,
damn!
I forgot about him.
Yeah, that guy. I was gonna say, well, actually, there's one character that I don't really like. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Because I used to fucking love him, but yeah, not guy. R.I.P. Peace no peace.
He's gonna come back season 3.
Oh God, I wouldn't doubt if you did, but I wouldn't like it.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe,
see a
yeah.
way that would make me feel comfortable. Okay, so spoiler alert. What's her name? Aika? Or Aoki, yeah.
Yeah.
This one of Ashirogi Mucho, which is the combined force of Takagi and Mashiro. One of their rivals, I guess they say, is Aoki, and she comes up with this different art style because of this guy Nakai. He's always been a assistant when it came to making manga, so he's really really talented at drawing, but he doesn't have great stories or something. You know, he's kind of older, 30 something, and he's working out with all these young people. So Aoki also isn't very strong with the art department, so her and Nakai team up, but there's a scene where Nakai becomes a creep because basically he falls in love with her, and you know, in kind of a creepy way, I guess, but it's, you know, it's funny at first until they break up, and then he convinces her to finally come back and let him draw. But at this point, he's been working with another girl, and he's over it. And
Basically, he just creeps on whatever girl he's working with. Like, if any type of girl shows him attention, he thinks they like him back, and that's gonna be his new woman.
That is his new woman.
In his eyes, it definitely was. But yeah, basically in that scene, again, it's gonna be a spoiler, but they break up for a minute. As a duo, you know, he's working with another person, like Kira said, but she wants him back, and at this time he's just working as an assistant. So she's offering him a position back, working with her as like a co-writer. Like as a group, yeah. Co-writer kind of. And he says no. He's over her. He has this new woman now. The only way that he might think about working with her is
if she'll go out with him. And she's so mad that she feels so disrespected. She fucking slaps him. Pretty sure she was almost crying, like almost in tears.
She definitely was in tears.
Yeah, and then just ran off, and he just looked like an asshole.
And that's just kind of the guy he was. He ended up being a little bit, I mean...
The fame got to his head.
Yeah, basically, sure. I guess that's the way to describe it.
So yeah, it's second season. Where are we at now?
They just got their...
They're new.
Yeah, they got a serialization. They had one already, and basically they're on their third chance. Right? To make a good serialized manga.
This is the last chance.
Yeah, the last chance, because I guess what Jack does is they give, you know, it's like 3 strikes after, you know, having 3 failed serializations. After they get fired, they lose their job. So they're on the third chance, and they make something worthy of it.
And what the problem with this group especially is that to get this third chance, because to get onto the third chance, they basically gave up on their second chance, even though it was still ongoing.
Like a fully functioning man.
Right,
yeah. Basically, they said that they want to quit because they want to, you know, be number one. They think they could come up with the manga that is gonna be number one, and that was the condition. Is that okay? You say you're gonna be number one, you have to be number one. Otherwise, we're cutting you. And so the chief editor has been pretty strict about that with them.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of drama going into season 3. I'm interested to see how it all plays out.
Gotta hope he finally touches Mio. So cool. I swear, I've never seen him hold hands.
There's one time when he lost the liver. I mean,
oh yeah,
she touched his hand for a second. Mashiro only has half a liver. That's beside the point, though.
You'll find out. Spoiler alert.
So
yeah, watching Bakuman was a ton of fun. can't wait to see what season 3 has in store.
Let's start it, guys.
Hey,
we might start it after this, so I think this is where we're gonna end it. Real quick, before we end it, I just want to give a special shout out to some of our subscribers who showed their love. Shout out to Fernando, and shout out to Jessica, aka Sniper.
I also have a plug. Shout out to who Jay. Let's see. Hold on. Click this.
Shout out to that.
I just got in the moment. Hold on. I also want to say to any of you listeners, I want to know what your guys' first anime was. And I want to know how you decided to start watching anime. If you're an otaku, even better. But if not, I don't give a fuck. Send me that shit. I want to know. I'm curious. So yeah, this is episode 2, closing off. Peace, though, peace.
Peace, oh peace.
Peace, oh peace.